been several years since I interacted with anything from this particular company. However, the last time I ran the product over with the car and it survived and was perfectly happy to recommend it. And if that sounds familiar to any of you, you already know that we have a couple of products actually from Zendure to review. So they sent in a couple of things. Actually, I'll preface this. My power bank that has been through hell and I run over with my car is finally starting to show its age. One of the LEDs quit working. Perfectly fine otherwise, and this is an A5. I don't even think they make this specific model anymore, but I've put it through hell and back, and if my complaint is that one of the LEDs has finally burned out, well, they've done something right. So, with that out of the way, they sent in a Passport 2 Pro and their new zenpods, which are the big item that they're trying to push. So let's go ahead and start with the zenpods. These are ANC and ENC, so that's going to be active noise canceling. And I've actually not seen ENC. I'm guessing that's enhanced noise canceling. Bluetooth 5, supposedly hi-fi. These are touch controlled, IPX5 waterproofing. So I don't think IPX5 is going to be enough to take them for a swim, but if it rains, you're going to be okay. Anything exciting here? 40 milliamp hour batteries in the headphones, 300 milliamp hour batteries in the box, 3 times charge, which makes sense. So if each headphone has a 40 milliamp, that's 80 each, which puts you at 240 for 3 charges off of the battery box. 6 hours of music on medium volume. We'll definitely do a stress test and run these to dead. Input voltage DC 5 volt 1 amp. 13 millimeter speakers, 10 meter transmission distance, 32 ohms for the speaker impedance, with a 20 to 20 kilohertz frequency response range. That's a mouthful. All right. But that's enough specs. Let's see what's in the box. All right. A little odd on the presentation. So we've got what I assume is everything wrapped in this plastic. I almost think this would have been better if they hadn't included this sealing plastic, because then our initial presentation would have been a little bit cleaner looking, like that. So, fit and finish on the packaging, not great, not terrible. And we've got this is a little battery container that the earbuds charge in. I don't like this battery container. My first thought is that it's not terrible, but the hinge stops here. I feel like this hinge mechanism is liable to be broken, especially if you're in a hurry. You open it up and push it too far. Over time, this is going to stress, and that's eventually going to snap. The earbuds themselves, certainly an interesting design, definitely Apple inspired, it feels like. Looks like we've got a port on here to allow air in. A couple of ports, so that should help with the drivers. A couple of pogo pin contact pads, 2-pin charging, so nothing super fancy there. And there's what appears to be a microphone on both of these. So both of these have microphones. That's going to be part of their noise canceling, I'm sure. Fit-wise, they feel a little large. They're definitely better than a lot of the wireless earbuds that I've tried fit-wise, so that's good. And let's see what else is in here. Piece of paper, black USB cable. Oh, okay. I didn't even pick up on that. So I'm going to give them credit for this right here. The charging cable is USB Type-C. And with a 5 volt 1 amp rating, I was fully prepared for this to have been micro USB, but it is USB-C. I will say I would have liked if the cable and the charger was color coded. I'm sure they just have thousands of these in their warehouse. And it does come with some extra tips. Again, in this plastic. I don't like this plastic. Maybe that's just me being picky. And a little itty-bitty manual. Is there anything interesting in here? Big, middle, small, earphone caps, single ear use. Take out the headset you need to use. Close the charging box. Note the ANC function cannot be turned on when using a single earphone. Okay, but you can use them one ear at a time. Well, that's neat. Some pairing instructions in here. Nowhere in here does it tell me what ENC stands for, which I guess I'm going to have to look up. All right. Overall, not a terrible presentation. My biggest gripe is I don't like the plastic that they wrapped it in, and my only real concern, fit and finish wise, is yeah, those are in snug. They're not bouncing out. Is that I feel like I'm going to break off this door, and I think I'm just going to take time to play with it a bit during the review process, and if I break it, I break it. If not, 10,000 cycles with the door, and I'll call it that I was concerned over nothing. So that's those. And this is an odd one. This is the Passport 2 Pro. This is a gallium nitride charger, and it says it's got an auto resetting fuse, which is new. Let's take a look here. So we've got functionality for all sorts of different regions: UK, US, Japan, China, European Union, Australia. And then we've got a bunch of different ins and outs. And this may do some things that I wanted it to do. This may replace some of my chargers here in the studio. So press button slide with that mechanism to pick which country you're in. It's got a 61 watt out USB Type-C, 3 Type A's with what appears to be a combined 12 watts out, and a USB-C with 12 watts out. And can you do all of that at once? I think 61 watt max. Okay, so it's not 100% clear here, and I'm going to send them an email because it specifies all the outputs separately. So USB-C 1 is, 5 volt 3 amp, 9 volt 3 amp, 12 volt 3 amp, up to 20.3 at 3 amp, 61 watt max. USB-C 2, 5 volt 2.4 amp, 12 watt max. USB-A 1, 2, 3, 5 volt 2.4 amp, 12 watt max. But it doesn't say if there's a combined total output. Well, it says right here, input is 100 volts at 1.5 amp. Sorry, 100 to 250. So theoretically, at US line voltage, it has a maximum input of about 180 watts. it may be capable of that 61, 12, and 12 all at once. That'll certainly be interesting to try. So we've got a scan for warranty card, which I don't think we had on the zenpods, and you can scratch this off and scan it in for the warranty. Let's get this thing out of the box and get a look at the product itself now. All right. Oh my. That is big. So it comes with a nice little carry bag. We get some stickers, which are a nice touch. It's a travel charger, so there are various locations you'd take it traveling. And we have instructions printed in a bunch of different languages, which sockets to use where. All right, so nothing particularly surprising in here. Points out most of the features that are on it. 24-month warranty and customer care, so 2-year warranty. So let's get this protective plastic off of it. So the idea with this is that you simply slide out the pins that you need, and it looks like the US plugs can be angled, which I wish the angling was controlled by this lever somehow. There's your UK plugs and EU. And then you can plug whatever device you have into it, which this might actually be. I wonder if it does voltage conversion. No, okay. So adapter does not convert voltage. Indoor use only. IP20 TA40 do not use with appliances requiring earth connection, which is actually an interesting note. So if you look, none of these have a ground pin of any type. So these are only going to be appliances that are 2-pin or 2-prong. Although physically, I could plug a grounded plug into it. So let's grab. So I could well, maybe I can't. All right. But if I try that with an ungrounded plug, man, that is stiff. Maybe it does work with the ungrounded plug, and I just wasn't willing to jam it in, as it were. All right, so yes, I can in fact plug a grounded plug into it. There's a warning not to. And I feel like most things people would plug in that actually have a grounded plug wouldn't get them in too much trouble. But it is an interesting note that it's there. All right, so let's get a look at... let's get a look at the rest of this. So we've got 3 USB-A's and a Type-C here, and then we have our big Type-C here. The big Type-C is orange, which is nice. We've got an LED indicator light on the bottom. I wonder if there's any other LEDs in this. Nope. Just the one LED at the bottom. One thing I did notice is that at least for US plugs, it's a little wiggly. And part of that is because these have to rotate in order to be in the... what is that? Australia uses them angled like that, or is that China? Well, either way, whichever country uses these angled, and I believe it's like that, these rotate and can be rotated side to side. So I think they could have solved that wiggliness with some internal gearing. That said, I don't think it's going to interfere with its actual function. So fit and finish is good, in-hand feel is good. I've never seen gallium nitride in action. I know it's the next big thing for chargers. It allows them to pack a lot more performance in a much smaller space than they would otherwise. I believe this also, yep, so this will also act as a USB hub. And this may be exactly what I was looking for my mixer here in the studio. So I've got a Sound Blaster K3 Plus, and I want to power it. And then I also want to be able to plug it into my laptop. And this may be exactly the charger to power it when the laptop's not in place, and act as a hub when I need it, when I record my news segments. So I think this will actually be in use during the next news segment. That's all we have from Zendure today. Interesting little zenpods here, and then we've got a travel charger, which feels like an odd thing to be promoting during the current health crisis, but as just this kind of universal household charger, it's not actually a terrible idea. So it does output enough to charge most Chromebooks and USB-C laptops, and then you can charge phones and AirPods or phones and ZenPods and all the other things with it. At the same time, it'll act as a hub. I will be interested to see. It looks like it will be a 2.0 hub. I don't see enough contacts in there for 3.0. So I'm definitely going to take time to test that. That said, there are plenty of applications for a good 2.0 hub, especially if the ports are wired the right way for a USB 3 host to get full performance out of them all, although I wouldn't count on that just yet. With all that said, thank you for watching. I want to thank our patrons, as well as anyone who uses our Amazon affiliate links. Stuff like that helps support Pocketables and helps make videos like this possible. There'll be links to information on that in the description below. I also want to thank Electrix for providing our opening and closing credits. If you like what you hear, definitely check out his channel. There's, as always, a link to it in the description, as well as there should be one somewhere on a card. And finally, if anyone has any questions or any specific tests you want to see me run on either the zenpods or the Passport here, let me know in the comments and I will make sure to cover that in the final review. Thank you for watching.